July 11th, 1991, in an event predicted hundreds of years earlier by the Mayans. The longest solar eclipse of the 20th century shrouds Mexico City in midday darkness. Millions of people look towards the heavens, many armed with their video cameras. But their cameras capture more than they expect.
People all over the city, Mexico City, were taking videos. And they were getting things that weren't the eclipse. They were getting strange things flying around in the sky.
Nearly 20 different people scattered across the city videotape what appears to be a saucer-shaped object floating above the horizon. Theories surface as to what the strange object may be.
Once the moon passes directly in front of the sun, of course, it gets quite dark, and you can start to see the stars, you can see the bright planets, you can see Venus or any other bright star or planet that happens to be above the horizon at that time. Undoubtedly, that's what a lot of people were seeing.
But when all of the different videos shot from multiple locations around the city are analyzed, the images seem to show Venus and the mysterious object as clearly separate entities. Some experts offer another theory. Perhaps the phenomenon is the result of the video cameras themselves, as Mexico's emergence as a UFO hotspot coincides with the proliferation of affordable home video recorders.
A camcorder is made with an automatic focus and an automatic aperture control to try to control the amount of light. And so it is not made to focus against a dark background. An automatic camera cannot focus on these objects without seeming to impart motion and changes in shape to it.
But many disagree that the sightings were just a trick of the camera and point to subsequent events as proof. Over the course of the next 6 years, more than 1,500 videos and photographs of UFOs surfaced throughout Mexico. Many of the alleged UFO sightings appear near ancient Mayan and Aztec pyramids. One area with a lot of sightings is Tepoztlan, a resort village some 60 miles south of Mexico City. According to UFO researcher Carlos Diaz, 60% of its residents report having seen a UFO. And local air traffic controllers confirm that radar regularly detects unidentified objects over the area. Tepoztlan is chiefly known for its ruins of a 14th century Aztec pyramid. To some ufologists, ancient sacred spots like this one represent power points that may be attracting UFO activity.
There are many power spots around the world where there's certain geological activities and fluctuations in the fields. You might call them vortexes or portals, where there is a lot of UFO activity.
Some believe that extraterrestrials have used these portals to enter our world, and also that they may have actually been responsible for the construction of some of the world's ancient sacred sites, including the Great Pyramid in Giza, Egypt.
There's less than 2/100ths of an inch tolerance between the stones. The tolerances to which it's built exceed the tolerances that we use in our space capsule. The more you study the Great Pyramid, the more you begin to realize there was something going on there that goes beyond our understanding.
More than 4,000 years old, the pyramid is built from over 2 million stones. Each side is perfectly oriented to the cardinal points of the compass: north, south, east, and west. The maximum error between the side lengths is astonishingly less than 0.1%.
People have looked at these structures and said, well, you know, they must have built these with some idea of making contact with aliens, or the aliens have somehow helped them build these structures.
Another theory is that both the ancient architects who built the sites and the alleged UFOs who visit them are attuned to a supposed geomagnetic energy force called ley lines. a grid-like pattern that covers the entire Earth.
Ley lines are geometric, they're like fields or lines of energy, and there's all kinds of intersections of certain ley lines which seem to create magnetic anomalies.
Ley lines have also been linked to tectonic activity, the movement of the Earth's plates, a force that results in earthquakes and volcanoes, and provides another potential explanation of UFO activity in Mexico.
One of the reasons I believe that Mexico City is indeed a hotspot for unidentified flying objects is due to the volcano that's near Mexico City, where large numbers of legitimate unidentifieds have been filmed.
UFOs have frequently been reported near Popocatépetl, Mexico's Smoking Mountain.
They've been keeping a camera on that mountain ever since it started erupting, and they've been finding in those pictures very clear disc-shaped objects. Now, some people have tried to explain them as rocks that are blasted out of the volcano, and they take an aerodynamic flight path and look like there's something flying when they're not. That's pretty hard to believe when you see the direction they actually go. They come down and toward the mountain rather than going up from the mountain.
Why would UFOs hover over volcanoes? One theory proposes that high levels of hydronium ion, also called H3O, are typically found in places with increased geological activity, like volcanoes.
H3O has an extra hydrogen atom in it, and that extra hydrogen atom can be split off and used as hydrogen fuel or for energy. And it's in the splitting of this extra particle that you can create a fusion effect. It's possible that these UFOs may be harnessing this type of energy for their systems to perhaps propel themselves through the atmosphere.
So perhaps UFOs are interested in Mexico more as an intergalactic gas station than for its sacred ancient structures. Coming up next, 10 of America's nuclear missiles suddenly shut down as a glowing disk hovers above Malmstrom Air Force Base. As the control center for some 221 Minuteman intercontinental ballistic missiles, Malmstrom Air Force Base near Great Falls, Montana, is an essential part of the nuclear arsenal for the United States. For decades, Malmstrom and other strategic air command centers like it have been the primary potential targets for the country's enemies. But many UFO experts wonder if these bases have also been attracting a different kind of attention. Are America's nuclear installations UFO hotspots?
One interpretation of UFO activity is that these entities, assuming that they are entities, are interested in our technological development. We're a very violent species, as you know if you watch television at night. So that alone is a reason that they would have to pay attention to what we're doing.